I'm not going to say the cliche statement that she's going to be the worst president, but I'm telling you, she's going to be the dumbest president in American history. We used to make fun of George W. Bush. David Letterman used to play his audio bloopers every week. But Kamala Harris, she's going to make George W. Bush look like Einstein. She really will.
He died like a dog.
They understand only one language, plain and simple language of actions and consequences. All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. And as you guys know, I've been supporting Trump for one major reason, and that is how he is probably the only leader in the Western world who has decided that the age of Islamist intimidation and provocation is over. I don't know how successful he would be. He said it a few times before that those people who are anti-American, those who chant anti-American slogans, those who intimidate and provoke the Jews, and those who are basically glamorizing terrorist outfits like Hamas and now Hezbollah and even the Houthis, those people can no longer live in America. How's he going to do it? I don't know. But at least it sends a very clear message to all of those Islamist propagandists who think that this is it. They won the war. No, they haven't. Because if Trump's speeches are anything to go by, which is a big leap of faith, but if it's anything to go by, I don't see a bright future for these Islamist propagandists and provocateurs. I think their time might come to a very rapid end. But be prepared that they will start crying Islamophobia and they would pull out their biggest weapon, which is their victim card. So let's have a look. Trump just made some very interesting comments in one of his rallies, and the guy is still not scared. He's had 2 assassination attempts and is still not scared. There are a lot of things I know people hate Trump for, but there are a lot of things that you have to admire the guy. And I'm sorry, I like him. So let's have a listen.
It will be a bright new day for the Jewish community in America. No longer will you have to walk the streets in fear. You're walking the streets in fear. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Young.
In the 21st century America, that's happening. Yeah, this is exactly what happened nearly 100 years ago in Nazi Germany. And now it's happening in the 21st century America. That says a lot. And by who? These people don't even hold any power, but they're clever with their tactics. They have infiltrated pretty much every political establishment in the Western world, and they're going after them.
College students are afraid to go to college. It's not something that anybody thought they would ever hear or see. No longer will you be threatened on your college campuses. No longer will you be discriminated against in college admissions. And no longer will your own government import jihadists from places that we don't even want to talk about. And
places where you wouldn't even want to go to. They're importing people from cultures that are inherently hostile to Western culture. They don't believe in Western values. They hate the West because this virus of Islamist ideology, it can stay dormant for a bit, but it can become hyperactive any minute. And that's what we're seeing.
They want Jew haters from overseas, and they let them come in and resettle in your communities right here at home, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. My promise to Jewish Americans is this: with your vote, I will be your defender, your protector, and I will be the best friend Jewish Americans have ever had in the White House. You know that.
Yeah, I think Trump is bad news for Islamists. It's not just a populist rhetoric. Muslims have overplayed their hand. Yes, they've been very active on social media. Yes, they've been able to recruit a lot of white, useful idiots for their cause. However, I don't think Western institutions that have matured over a couple of centuries can be knocked down so easily. I don't believe it. However, we have an infiltration of commies. This is actually amazing. In the 21st century, Americans are about to elect a very, very probable commie in Kamala Harris. Britain has already done it. Keir Starmer, two-tier Keir, he is a commie. I've said it before, the greatest threats to the Western world are Putin, Xi Jinping, Islamist, and now I think I should also add the commies to the list. Islamists and the commies, they are internal threats. They're not external threats. They're gone. Officially, the West defeated them in 1991. Yeah, China is the second version of communism. We'll see. It is a serious threat, but let's just see. But there's one more statement that I want to play.
Like a long time ago when you could say anything, but all across our land, you've seen Jewish Americans harassed and attacked and terrorized by anti-Semites and Hamas sympathizers. What we've been witnessing over the last year, actually, I've watched it in great detail. I've watched it, and I've watched it take place. It's hard to believe, yet despite presiding over this explosion of anti-Semitism, Kamala Harris has done absolutely nothing. She has not lifted a single finger to protect you or to protect your children or to even protect you with words. I'm here today to tell the Jewish American community that this ugly tide of anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas bigotry and hate will be turned back and crushed starting at noon on January 20th, 2025. Thank you.
Look, I'm a little bit skeptical, but I can't wait for Trump's second presidency term. I can't wait because, as I said, whether he'd be able to do a lot of these things, he said somewhere that, yeah, we'll go door to door and kick out all these illegal migrants. He has said it before that he would cancel the student visas of all these Hamas sympathizers in university campuses. He said it.
Unlike liberal Kamala, I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror. You have to support that. Got to win, got to finish it off. And instead of pandering to the jihad sympathizers and America-hating radicals, we will deport them. We will deport them very quickly. We have no choice.
Whether he's going to be able to do it or not. But as I said, narratives matter. Politicians only need to say these things because people are listening to them. And when a politician of Trump's level says something like this, it reverberates down to every segment of society. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I hope he wins. I know Kamala Harris, I can't believe this. Have you heard her laugh?
Poor hubby. Poor hubby. Nah.
I'm not going to say the cliche statement that she's going to be the worst president, but I'm telling you, she's going to be the dumbest president in American history, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know every single president, but in my lifetime, at least. We used to make fun of George W. Bush. David Letterman used to play his audio bloopers every week. But Kamala Harris, she's going to make George W. Bush look like Einstein. She really will, because she is incredibly stupid. Her knowledge of global affairs or geopolitics is extremely stupid. And another thing that I want to tell you, the last time a major Western country selected a former prosecutor, just ask Britain, how is it going after electing a former prosecutor in Keir Starmer. If you elect her, that's going to be even worse because America is the biggest and the most important Western country. And whatever happens in America, it actually affects the rest of us, especially Western countries. And a weak America is bad news for everyone. And I know a lot of Trump supporters are very isolationist. I'm not. I'm an interventionist. I think we need strong America. We need someone like Trump at the helm who doesn't like wars. I don't like wars either. But at least he can pick up the phone and he can say, hey, Abdul, here's the photo of your house. If you don't get in line, I'm going to blow it up.
And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul.
His speech when he said he died like a dog.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place.
So people don't like that. Career politicians don't like that because that's not how they talk. But in the real world, these people that you're dealing with, they don't understand this bureaucratic language. They don't care about that. You're going to write something, okay, well, if you do this, we're going to put so-and-so sanctions on you. They don't care. They understand only one language, plain and simple language of actions and consequences. Kind of like how Israel is talking to them. This is the reason why I actually love Israel, because Israel's probably the only country in the Western world that doesn't bend over backwards. And they're doing everything they can to minimize civilian casualties. And they have seen, even if you specifically target terrorists, even then, they're not happy. Because it's not about civilian casualties. I've been saying that from day one. It's not about that. It's about defaming Israel, turning the public opinion against them, and somehow winning the war that way. That has been the strategy from day one. And that's why you see all these Muslim propagandists online on social media. They're spreading disinformation on purpose, even though when they're told that this is fake, they don't care. They just move on to the next one. That's why Trump is important, because I don't think he cares about the opinions of analysts around him. Hey, Mr. President, I think we should do this. I think he follows his gut. I think he follows his instinct. It may not always work, because running a country is a complicated business, but sometimes the people that we're dealing with, they're sophisticated in terror, but they are very simple-minded people. They understand the language of power. It's not like Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is more complex. China is more complex. But Hezbollah or Hamas, these guys understand violence. They, by hook or by crook, they just want to dismantle Israel. That's what they want to do. And Israel understands that. And that's why Israel's not backing down. Anyway, this is why I support Trump 90%, not 100%, because I don't like his narrative or his stance on the Russia-Ukraine war. I don't like it. I'm in a bit of a lose-lose situation. If Trump wins, then Ukraine might lose. But if Kamala Harris wins, then they would put a lot of pressure on Israel, and she might let Hezbollah and Hamas live on. Both of these possibilities are not acceptable to me. But there is a bright side. If Kamala wins, hopefully Ukraine will get a bit of support, but the rest of the country will be screwed. The rest of the West will be screwed. But if Trump wins, then at least these Islamists, these jihadis, they will be put in their place. So I hope you liked today's video. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can support me by becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Harris Sultan, or you can buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/Harris Sultan. If you can't do it, then that's fine as well. Just hit that big like button. That helps too. Until next time, ta-da. If you'd like to support my work, you can become my patron by going to patreon.com/Harris Sultan, or you can simply buy me a coffee.